Welcome back to day 3 of my checkerboard flooring mini series. I'm Cami from Vlog Tidbits, and today we are going to talk about your options when it comes to the pattern or the direction of a checkerboard floor. So how you install your tile pieces in your room matters. So let's learn more and discuss the difference between Harlequin and checkerboard flooring so that you know exactly what to do with your space. So you'll notice for my series and for our own space, I've used the term checkerboard flooring. But technically speaking, many of the images I share and the pattern we installed in our mudroom is actually called Harlequin flooring. But for the sake of familiarity and what everyone seems to be calling these two-tone tiled floors, no matter how they're installed, we use the term checkerboard flooring. Even major designers and designer websites use this term regardless of the technicalities, but I want you to know the difference between checkerboard and Harlequin flooring so that you can get clear on the look and the vibe that you are after. So checkerboard technically is when the tiles are arranged on the floor in a straight pattern, similar to like a chess or checkers game board. So the square pieces of tile are laid parallel to the focal wall and the direction of the room. Now contrast this to a Harlequin floor, which is installed at a diagonal and takes on a diamond shape when facing the focal wall or like the main flow of the room. Now you could change where you're standing or looking at a room and your eyes may feel like it moves from a square to a diamond direction, but the difference in installation is whether you are lining up the square edge of the tile with the wall or starting the tile at a diagonal. Now this pretty blue and white checkerboard flooring looks diagonal because of the angle of the photo, but you can see it is technically checkerboard because of how the flat edges of the tile line up with the walls. Whereas this beautiful space has the points for the squares lined up with the wall and the tile flows through the room at a diagonal. So with the distinction in place, how do you know if you should install your flooring in a checkerboard or a Harlequin pattern? Now, of course, that is personal preference, but I'll shed some light into my own thoughts based on what I have observed. Now, personally, I tend to feel like the straight-on checkerboard pattern does give a more retro diner vibe, since that is the typical angle in which we are most familiar with those types of spaces. Wherein, as I see the Harlequin angle pattern to be a little more timeless and evokes more of a Renaissance vibe, since that is where the diamond pattern seems to actually have been originated. The Harlequin is definitely having more of a moment in our modern day as far as trends go, and Harlequin is my personal favorite direction for a checkerboard floor. Now, however, there's always room for rule breaking and making it work no matter what. One of my favorite examples of a squared checkerboard pattern is in this room, which feels very European and timeless to me. Perhaps it is the varying shades of the stone they used or the wood tones surrounding it, that it all works beautifully together and again looks nothing like a diner. And this darling cottagecore dining room appears to also be laid down in a checkerboard squared off pattern, and it absolutely works for this space. Now, if you know you want checkerboard flooring, perhaps it is worth it to get some sample pieces and play around with the angle to see what you prefer. As far as ease of installation, I know my husband groaned in pain when I told him that I wanted ours at an angle in the Harlequin pattern. So I do believe that is the more difficult way to install your tiles, but in my experience, it's well worth it. So I'd love to hear what you think about both options. Do you have a preference when it comes to the Harlequin or checkerboard pattern? Did you even know there was a difference? Let me know in the comments, and then be sure you're subscribed, because I will be back to give you more inspiration and education when it comes to everything that I've learned about checkerboard floors. And I especially can't wait to reveal our mudroom/office space. So you'll want to stay tuned for that as we continue to work at it. And if you're watching this later, go through and scroll through all my videos or my blog to see if all of it's finally up. But just a quick reminder, all the sources of these images that I'm showing you are linked in my description. So you can check that out. And then also I will link to my blog post for this video and all the videos in this series. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon to share more inspiration for do-it-yourself living.